express how a child brings joy to your life. It's just holding him close to me. It's a very different experience.
If you have a family, you have love, affection and happiness. And if you don't have a family, there will be only friends. There will be no sister, brother, relatives.
When Nehal came home, it was a day like my dream came true. When a child comes, your life becomes complete.
Family is indispensable. I cannot imagine how a child can grow outside a family.
Call it a clan, call it a network, call it a tribe, call it a family. Whatever you call it, whoever you are, you need one. It was more or less on this philosophy that the Indian Association for the Promotion of Adoption, or IAPA, first came into existence.
There was a group of visionaries, a group of professionals who felt that adoption needed to be promoted both in terms of concept and the practice of adoption, that adoption was a very beautiful way of building families. Family is the best environment for a child, and for a child without a parents, then permanency planning through adoption would be the best way to take it forward.
Ever since, IAPA has given birth to hundreds of families and thousands of smiles.
My experience with IAPA has been positive throughout. The social workers in IAPA, they know to ask the right questions to get parents like us thinking in the right direction. With IAPA, I have never noticed any sort of monetary intentions.
At a time when people knew little to nothing about adoption, IAPA worked tirelessly on creating awareness, even creating a forum for adoption agencies to work together.
I think the contribution of IAPA in the field of adoption has been at various levels, of the legal protection to development of policies program for training and development, capacity building of professionals in the field of adoption, and most importantly to lobby for an adoption legislation.
IAPA is the best institute who takes so many programs where the child comes to know what is adoption. These people, they have every year a family meet, awareness week, Anmol, in which only the children they meet, they interact.
If I tell everyone about this title adoption, then the babies are safe, everyone is safe, and there becomes a new family.
While IAPA's goal was to find a family for every child, it was not always possible to find a family immediately, and this meant the child was left with just one option: an orphanage.
It was felt that it's better for the child, instead of being in an institution or an orphanage, where the child would be, what we call multiple mothering was happening, and it's not in the best interest of the child to have so many people look after without having this bonding, emotional bonding with one person. So after having studied the psychology of childhood, we were convinced that pre-adoptive foster care was the best way to look after a child who's awaiting parents.
Though most children in pre-adoptive foster care finally did get adopted, not all children were as lucky. Niranjan was a special child. For him, adoption never really became a reality. However, Niranjan was never deprived of family care thanks to the foster care program.
निरंजन जब 2 महीने का आया तो 2 किलो ही वजन था। 3 महीने के बाद तो ना तो पलटी हुआ, ना तो चलने सीखा, ना तो बैठने सीखा खुद। फिर अभी अडॉप्शन में तो जल्दी जाने वाला नहीं था, तो मैं बोली देखो बच्चे लोग तो मेरे छोटे हैं, मगर जब तक उसको आपको मेरे पास रखना है उतना दिन मेरे पास रख सकते हो। मेरे दोनों भी बच्चे उसको बहुत प्यार करते हैं, बल्कि हमारे जो मैके में जो है सब उनको तो मामा ही समझता है, वो उनके बच्चे उनको भाई बहन ही समझता है.
It required a lot of advocacy, awareness, lobbying for this kind of innovative way of looking after children with the government as well as practitioners in the field to say, let us look at it as a project and see how well the child blossoms and nourishes, is nurtured in a family environment far more than an institutional setup.
मैंने ऐसे भी बच्चे देखे कि अचानक से ऐसे आश्रम से, अनाथ आश्रम से मेरे पास आए हैं, क्योंकि वो जो गुमसुम बात ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकते थे जल्दी, और ये फैमिली में आके उनको जैसे कि फैमिली लाइफ की आदत होती थी. हॉस्पिटल से भी बढ़कर ये काम होता है, क्योंकि वहाँ से ज़्यादा घरेलू जीवन में उनको बहुत ही सुरक्षा मिलती है.
For the IAPA, ensuring a loving family for a child was of utmost importance. But adoption was only one way of doing this. There were other children facing a crisis in their own families.
तर मला मोठा भाऊ होता एक, तर त्याला 3 मुलं आणि आमची आई होती. तर त्याची मिसेस पहिलीच वारली ती. नंतर मग ही मुलं किती 10-11 वर्षाची असताना वडील वारले. तर ह्या मुलांचं काय करायचं म्हणून प्रश्न होता. आता आश्रममध्ये टाकायचं म्हटलं तर तिकडे बरोबर नसते, पण यांचा खर्च कसा करायचा, काय करायचं, मग मी असं सगळीकडे चौकशी करत होती.
Over a period of time when we worked in this whole aspect, I think IAPA began to realize that child protection was a larger issue and that adoption was one of the non-institutional approach to child protection. But we need to expand the scope of IAPA to other non-institutional or what is called family-based alternatives, which is foster care, sponsorship and community outreach programs. That's when IAPA became the Indian Association for Promotion of Adoption and Child Welfare.
To help families in crisis situations, IAPA taps into various funds, including government schemes like the Bal Sangopan Yojana.
IAPA नसता, यांची मदत नसती तर बोर्डिंगच असतं मुलांना शेवटी अनाथ आश्रम. सुरुवातीपासूनच आम्हाला त्यांनी पैशाची मदत केली. तिथून मी त्यांच्या शिक्षणासाठी तो खर्च केला आणि ट्युशनला पण लागत होते, ट्युशनला पण ते देत होते. पुढे त्यांचं काय ते जे कपडे वगैरे त्यांना दिले तिथून. मग दोघांचे चष्मे काढले आणि डोळे चेकअप केले, त्याचा पण दर महिन्याला ते देत होते औषधाचे पैसे. परत ते बहीण आहे आमची, तिला कॅन्सर झालेला असा. मग असं म्हटल्यानंतर आता काय करायचं, कुठून पैसे आणायचे, मग त्यांनी ती पण आम्हाला ते मार्गदर्शन केलं. प्रत्येक वेळेला त्यांनी आम्हाला मदत केली.
A whole range of different services are provided, from educational sponsorship to medical sponsorship, from coaching classes to recreational activities, all with one aim: to preserve the family and maintain the child's right to education.
वो मैं 12th में था तब मेरा मामा ऑफ हो गए थे. तभी से मैं किसके साथ बात नहीं करता था, चुप रहता था. टेंशन में था, उसकी टेंशन में था. दूसरी बात मतलब मैं पढ़ाई करता था, मुझे कुछ याद नहीं रहता था. मैं जाता था स्कॉलरशिप लेने, तभी वो मुझसे पढ़ाई करवा के लेते थी. मेहर मैडम समझ जाती है, मैं उनके पास जाता हूँ तो वो बोलती है अभी क्यों नहीं बात कर रहा तू.
Once the social worker takes up the case and she starts looking into the different aspects of the child's problems, she counsels the child from time to time, depending on the kind of problem he is facing. She counsels the parents from time to time and monitors their progress. Now, if the problems are such as can be dealt with by the social worker, the counseling works with the child and the family and it goes on. At times, the problems can be of greater intensity. So at that time, we refer them to our Child Guidance Center, where this team of professionals, they test out the child clinically, then they provide the necessary intervention, whether it is in terms of counseling or remedial therapy or even medicine when necessary.
रोज की तरह मैं उनके साथ बात नहीं करता था, तो उन्होंने बोला कि तुम मुझे नहीं बता रहा तो मैं मैडम को बुलाती हूँ, उनके साथ तो कुछ तो बात कर. तो उन्होंने मुझे एक पेपर पे लिखने को बोला कि तेरे जो मन में है वो तो मुझे तो नहीं बता सकता, लेकिन ये पेपर के सहारे तो मुझे बता कि तुझे कौन सा टेंशन है, क्यों टेंशन है। मतलब वो टीचर की तरह नहीं, घर की तरह मेरे साथ रहते थे।
But IAPA did not limit itself to just individual growth. The aim was to create a wholesome family environment.
So to help the family members to become more self-sufficient and empower them, we have schemes like self-help group for women, we have vocational training, we have counseling and child guidance center for the family members also.
मेरी अभी एक सिस्टर है 12th, वो फेल हो गई। उसके बाद उसने IAPA में कंप्यूटर का कोर्स किया था। उस बेसिक पे उसे अभी जॉब मिला है इधर।
IAPला जॉईन झाल्यापासून मला इथे खूप काही शिकायला मिळालं आहे। केकचे वगैरे क्लासेस घेतले आहे लोकांनी, टेलरिंगचे क्लासेस घेतले, सॅटिन रिबिन, भरतकाम, फिनाईल, अगरबत्ती ते सगळे बनवायचे क्लासेस घेतले। त्याच्यापासून आपण घरी बनवून 2 पैसे कमवू शकलो।
मुझे यहाँ पे आना बहुत अच्छा लगता है क्योंकि यहाँ आकर मेरी कोई भी प्रॉब्लम वो सॉल्व हो ही जाती है क्योंकि यहाँ सब अपने लोग हैं।
जेव्हा पण प्रॉब्लेम असेल मी त्यांना सांगायची, तेव्हा ते कुठून तरी कसं पण करून आमचं मदत करायचे ते।
अभी घर पे भी कोई टेंशन रहता है तो मेयर मैडम को मैं बता देता हूँ।
Today, IAPA's activities extend to rural Maharashtra too, and its publications reach out to parents, children, and the public at large. It has been 4 decades now since IAPA first started its work, building and strengthening families and bringing smiles to the faces of young children. But IAPA has not remained stagnant. Like the children it has helped, it grows. With the needs of the children, it evolves and will continue to do so as long as there are children that need a helping hand.